It was 1:50 a.m. It would have been a night like tonight. A warm tropical breeze is blowing out onto the ocean. It's been 28 days, a full lunar cycle, since Natalee vanished. The moon above me now would have been exactly the same that night. It's bright enough to cast my shadow on the sand. It could have been romantic if something had not gone terribly wrong. Even at 3 a.m. there are a few couples and late-night revellers still around. Exactly what happened, we still don't know. Investigators say they've checked cell phone and internet records from that night. Based on those records, Satish Kalpo's attorney, David Koch, says Joran van der Sloot phoned Deepak Kalpo between 2:30 and 2:40.
The story of Deepak is that Joran just said, "I'm walking home. I was on the beach with a girl, but she fell asleep, didn't want to get up, so I said, forget it, I'm walking home." He said, "Let me know."
I'm walking the same route Joran van der Sloot would have taken that night if this version of his story is true. I set off from the beach about 20 minutes ago. As you can see, there are stores and banks, and some of them have closed-circuit security cameras. Prosecutors have said security camera footage has been checked, but they declined to say if the tapes from these businesses were reviewed and if there's any sign of van der Sloot. Based on records, Koch says Joran van der Sloot sent a text message to Deepak Kalpo after the 2:40 a.m. phone call.
About 45 minutes later, there's an SMS message from Joran to Deepak again saying, "I got home, thanks for waiting."
I'm taking a shortcut on this dirt track. Seem to have woken up some of the local dogs. It's taken me about 36 minutes to walk from the beach right up to Joran van der Sloot's front gate. It's likely that by the time he arrived, most of the neighbours were asleep, as they seem to be now. From what we know, there are no eyewitnesses who saw him reach home. Assuming Joran van der Sloot did walk and text message Deepak Kalpo as soon as he arrived, it would make it about 3:20 a.m. According to Koch, internet records show Deepak Kalpo was web surfing when the message came through. Koch says his client Satish was asleep. His mother, Nadira Ramirez, backs that up.
I just opened the door silently. I peep, I saw Deepak room close. I peep, I saw the car, and I went back to bed.
Van der Sloot's attorney, Antonio Carlo, declined to talk to us for this report. But Koch has seen van der Sloot's statements to investigators and says he's changed his story several times since his arrest, claiming first Deepak Kalpo picked him up from the beach after he left Natalee, then saying it was Satish Kalpo. In another version of the story, Joran van der Sloot said he walked home.
There have been other points, but those important issues, you say that those are 4 different stories.
Authorities say they're making headway, but Koch believes they're still a long way from cracking the case.
They got a good picture of where the girl was and where she was last dropped. But what happened afterwards, they don't know.
What is certain is that all 3 young men, at least initially, cooked up a lie to cover their tracks once they realised Natalee was missing. What's still far from clear is whether they played a role in her disappearance. Karl Penhaul, CNN, Palm Beach.